In the second part of our session, I would like to give you a very short introduction to finance. And I would like to start with the different periods a startup is facing or you are facing when you start your company. At the beginning, as you can see, there is a long period of losses. And at the beginning, your only source are the well-known family, fools and friends who finance your startup at the beginning, which is very important. And it's very important and helpful when you are able to start your company at the beginning with your own resources. In the next period of founding your company, incubators and accelerators become very important. As you are here now also in an incubator program, there are a lot of possibility in Europe but also in Asia to take part and participate in acceleration programs and incubators, and some of them are also able to help you with some financial resources. In Europe, which is in parallel very important in this period, are subsidies. The government and other institutions are subsidizing startups heavily in the pre-seed and early stage period, so be aware of this and look for it. There will be a special session in your program where you learn about this in Austria. In the next phase, you are working with business angels, and we will spend quite some time today to discuss this, because business angels are very important. They not only support you with their money, but also with their knowledge and with their network. We call it therefore smart money. And then venture capital is also coming. I will also speak a lot about this. What is important in Europe is banks don't play a very important role, because there are very, very strict restrictions concerning the financial risks, and an investment in the startup is a very high risk. So normally banks are not ready to invest in startups. But maybe you can get a loan, especially if you need machinery, if you produce something, you also can get a loan from a bank in Europe. It's very difficult, I would say it's impossible to get loans for software development or for marketing, but if you really buy a machine to produce something in a B2B case, for example, then you also have the possibility to get loans. This is a very brief overview. The next slide I would show you are the phases again, but in a very typical, I would say, Silicon Valley approach, where you see that it's quite tough and that the time limits are quite fixed. At the beginning, only for generating the idea, you have to finance this yourself. Then there is the possibilities to find some family, friends and fools who can support you. The next stage are then the incubators, which is normally close to prototype. This is very important. It's very difficult to find investors to develop a prototype. There are some cases, especially in the vertical like medicine or health areas, but also if you develop new technology, it could be also possible to find somebody who is ready to invest also in developing a prototype. But normally you start searching for investors and outside money when you are close to prototype, or maybe even better, when you have a proof of concept, which means that you can show that your business model is really working on the market, and therefore you then are looking for money, especially to roll out your business model to penetrate the market. Business angels are ready to do this and invest in your company in this early stage, and then there is also venture capital. Another possibility is crowdfunding. We will come back to this also later on, but it's important to understand crowdfunding from my perspective is to some extent a CRM tool, a customer relation management tool, and it's more a marketing. It's very difficult really to finance your company substantially via crowdfunding, but we will come back to this also later on. In Austria, there are a lot of possibilities to get subsidies, and you will also get feedback from other guys from FFG and AWS in more detail. I only want to mention it's also important, especially the post-corona and COVID time, there are also a lot of subsidies and help and funds where startups get very easily money. So this could be very interesting also to check this, because as you know, in the post-corona time, liquidity is the main issue for you, and there are also special subsidies and funds, so it's important to explore them also in detail.